All right, anyway, here's Fox News again, and they're going to jump back into the Clinton email scandal. So they're coming off the Trump KKK stuff. And since the last group of Hillary Clinton emails was just dropped, I guess it was Thursday or Friday, they're back on this email scandal. There is nothing that is going to happen here. This woman is not going to be indicted. None of the emails that she sent or received were marked classified, top secret, or anything else. All of the emails were classified after the fact, after she received them or after she sent them. So they're going to try to make an argument that it was gross negligence here, and under, I guess, the espionage laws, that's all there has to be. There doesn't have to be any forethought. But that's a bunch of crap. There is no way that this woman is going to be subpoenaed other than to ask a few questions. But she's not going to be charged with anything. Her people aren't going to be charged with anything. So, basically they're just drumming up stuff, which is Fox's way.
And that Clinton email scandal, it's still raging. The State Department releasing its final batch of her messages, bringing the total number of classified emails to more than 2,000. And there are lawsuits, like the one filed by a conservative group pushing to get some 30,000 other emails, which Clinton said were personal and deleted.
Good luck with that one, because they don't have standing. So the FBI can request them, the State Department can request them. Congress could probably try to request them, but a bullshit watchdog group does not have standing in order to be able to request anything that she has labeled as personal. They would have to find some type of a smoking gun in order to do something like that.
Also learning her senior aide, Cheryl Mills, still has her top secret security clearance despite having possibly broken the law forwarding emails now deemed classified. But Attorney General Loretta Lynch denying that there's any special treatment going on. Watch.
Well, I'm not going to comment on any of the individuals who may or may not be involved in this, because it would depend very much on the facts of those particular circumstances.
Bottom line, is there any double standard here?
There's no double standard in this or any other matter being handled by the Department of Justice.
So if not Hillary Clinton, maybe one of those people attached to her. I was talking to Judge Napolitano, one of our Fox News contributors here. He said it's not just potentially a law broken by forwarding those emails, but a felony, a very serious law being broken. So are we seeing a situation potentially, Chris, where everybody else gets dirty, but Hillary Clinton somehow manages to emerge?
Well, we've seen that happen before in various investigations. I got to say, well, first of all, in terms of the security clearance for Cheryl Mills, I don't know the legality of it. It certainly seems curious on its face that she would still have that clearance. That's not a Justice Department issue. That's a State Department issue. So, that's on them. In terms of the FBI investigation, obviously, we don't know if there's a double standard. We don't know if there's going to be a political cover-up because we haven't seen the result of the investigation. I will say that James Comey, who is the FBI director, that everybody I talk to say that he is a straight shooter, that he's a serious guy, that he's non-political. I think you got to give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's wait and see if there is a criminal referral or not. That's a different issue than does the Justice Department take that referral and actually indict.
Right.
But let me say this, if there were a criminal referral and they didn't indict, I don't think there's any question it would get out. I suspect Comey would resign, and in a sense it would be even a bigger firestorm than an indictment.
It's interesting what you say, too, because these people with careers that are supposedly nonpartisan would like to have jobs after the current president, so it makes a lot of sense. You're an attorney with us today. What are your thoughts about the evidence that you've seen so far in this case?
Yeah, and I love these Fox attorneys like Judge Napolitano. That guy is the biggest hack in the whole... I take that back. He's one of the biggest hacks in the whole world. Anytime they need a legal opinion to lean to the right, they call this guy in some kind of way he finds it. Now, they have another attorney that's basically going to make the claim about negligence and espionage and felonies, etc. And they're just all blowing smoke up their ass. I mean, as far as Fox is concerned, Fox has no requirement to tell the truth or even lean towards the truth. But the majority of their viewers basically are taking them as the gospel. But that seems to be changing now with Donald Trump basically wearing their asses out, and the Fox viewers siding more with the Donald than they are with Fox. So it's interesting. But anyway, here's I guess Ms. Williams's analysis of the situation.
Harris, it looks overwhelming, and here's why. People forget this crime, this felony, it's all under the Espionage Act, and it does not require intent. So Hillary Clinton's defense so far has been very much predicated on this notion of they were marked classified after the fact. Okay, make that argument. But it's the content in the emails that carries it at the end of the day.
Right.
And really what she has to be careful around is this notion of reckless negligence. And all the evidence I've seen, Harris, really looks to me like on its face, it's at least reckless, and that's the problem I think she's going to have.
So is it a crime then to just do your job so badly that it's
According to the Espionage Act,
puts
yes.
the rest of us in
That's
danger?
the
I mean,
verdict.
fill in the blank.
Yeah, it's and it's not a victimless crime. To your point,
Right.
it puts American citizens and their safety. Look, I'm not prosecuting her, but this is the argument the prosecutors will make.
Ebony, what about the staffers taking the classified information from a government server and putting it onto a private server? I mean, that, to me, the folks I've talked to, that's a felony. There's also, if they can prove conspiracy behind that. I mean, we sat here yesterday, Chris, with Britt Hume. We asked Britt, he said, I don't believe that they're going to indict. I tend to agree. O'Reilly and I have got a don't be a pinhead windbreaker riding on this whole thing. But what does it tell you? Do you think that Huma Abedin and Cheryl Mills will go to prison?
Look,
No.
I don't. My legal mind can't see it going there. I agree she's not going to probably be indicted, she being Hillary, but I think at best we get a recommendation from Comey to say that, look, this has to be looked at, because you can't get around that. And when you talk about private servers and this type of behavior, that's recklessness on its face, Andrea. On its face, per se recklessness.
Now, that is true. She was reckless using a private server. So if they can prosecute her on that, God bless them and go for it. But anything other than that, they're full of shit.
When it's all over, it'd be interesting to ask the voters, particularly Democrats, why it didn't seem to matter to them.
Well, it does matter to some, because we do see in the polls when they ask people what's the most important candidate quality, one of the four we ask is honesty and trustworthiness. And for the people who care about that, and it's usually about a quarter of the electorate that say that's the important, Sanders is beating her 90-10, but for the other 75%, it doesn't seem to be an issue. I will say this, just as I was talking about an issue that for Trump, might not be so disqualifying, could be big in a general election. This is going to be whoever the Republican is, whether it's Trump, Rubio, or Cruz, it's going to be a big issue when you get to the general election.
But that's just like the pot calling the kettle black, because none of these people, women, have mentioned Trump's KKK problem and asking his voters, which they did do on MSNBC, but asking his voters how they felt about Trump being affiliated, whichever way you want to see it, with David Duke and the Ku Klux Klan. So anyway, double standard, but it's expected.